Welcome back to the next video of Scottsville Students Leader Training.
Yeah, I had to take a bathroom break or something. That's why I was just...
Yeah, coming on back. All right. We are going to be talking about protecting students and yourself. Wow. I wasn't joking when I said I really need you guys to know this for, honestly, legal reasons.
Yeah.
When students walk through our doors, the second that our programming starts, their protection is in our hands. Their well-being is in our hands until we release them to their parents. It is our job to make sure that they stay safe and taken care of. So here are some things that you need to know about protecting students, but also protecting yourself. Okay, perfect. The first thing I want to start out with is that, guys, living in 2019 is hard. We say that as a staff all the time. Every single time we're planning an event, we're even choosing a game to play, we're doing whatever, we're like, can we even say this? Can we even do this? Because like when we were in youth group as like kids or whatever,
we could throw poop at each other and it was fine.
We literally could do so many
That's
things.
disgusting, but yeah.
Like youth pastors could really get away with a lot, but living in 2019, it's like every single thing that you do, everything that you say is always taken to the worst extent.
Yes.
And so we have to constantly be vigilant as to like what kind of circumstances we're putting ourselves in with students, how we're leading students, what we're saying to them. And that's like really difficult, but
live above reproach.
Yeah. And because we're trying to live above reproach. Oh my word. Sometimes I can say words. But because we are trying to do that, there are a couple of rules that we need to live by when we are working with students. So the basic ones that you probably could have guessed yourself. If you are a male leader, please don't be one-on-one with a female student, especially behind closed doors. That is a major no-no. And vice versa. I mean, female leader, do not be alone with a male student, especially behind closed doors. Like there's really no reason why a leader and a student of the opposite sex should be alone in a one-on-one conversation in like a room by themselves. It just should never happen. And even if there's good intentions behind it, the fact that another adult could walk past that situation and see that conversation going on, or like even if it's like a hug or like a tap on the shoulder, or whatever it is, like it can just be misinterpreted and it can go too far. And we don't want to see students actually being in harm's way. And we don't want to see leaders getting falsely accused of anything. And so just make sure that you're not one-on-one, especially with a student of the opposite sex. And that goes for, driving students too. There really shouldn't be any reason for a female leader to be driving a male student, a male leader to be driving a female student somewhere one-on-one. Like really, there shouldn't be.
It's common sense.
Just use your common sense. Be wise.
Discernment.
You guys are living in 2019 too, how this goes. But so I like to say the rule of 3 is the way to be.
I love that.
It's just fun. I love rhymes.
And you know what Jesus said about 3? When 3 or more are gathered, he'll be there.
There I also will be.
Yeah.
And if Jesus is there, nothing gonna go down.
That's bad or evil.
Yes.
Something holy and awesome will go down.
Yep. Keep it holy, people. All right. So, if you are a female leader and you're talking to 2 male students, I'm still going to be like, that's interesting. Wonder what they're talking about. But I'm going to be a little bit less concerned because there's a third person for accountability.
Yeah.
And so just being in groups of 3 is going to be safe. But the most safe position you can be in is if you're talking to any student that you are doing it in like a joint space where there are a lot of other people that are being able to see you, being able to watch you, hear your conversations. It just keeps you safe. It keeps the students safe. Just do it. And if there's like a situation that you're unsure about, you're like, should I be talking to the student in this way? And just come talk to Tucker and I. We will give you clarity. But just make sure that you're putting your safety and student safety first. The actual legal thing that I need to let you guys know about is that you guys are all mandated reporters. You are working with students, which means that you are mandated reporters. And so what that looks like is there's any kind of sexual assault, sexual harassment, if there's any kind of suicide threats or statements, if there's anything that you think as a leader, a student is being put in harm's way or putting themselves in harm's way, you have to report it. It might not get you brownie points with the student, might not get you brownie points with the parent, but I don't care. What I care about is our student safety.
Yeah.
And so you by law need to be a mandated reporter. What that looks like is you can come to Tucker and I first. We will help walk you through that process. You do not need to do that alone. But we want to make sure that our students are being safe, are being kept safe, are being watched over.
And I would ask that you would come to me or Stephanie first, because it could be a false alarm and there could be something, but we want to be able to walk that path with you, so that like you're not calling the cops and they show up and then arrest some person on our campus. But
we need to
let us know and we will make the call if we need to.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then finally, still important, not as crazy as mandated reporter, but for fires or storms, our protocol for fires are get out of the building. Right? It's a self-explanatory one. Get out. Grab your students. Make sure they're out of the building. But don't be like a hero. That's Tucker and I will make sure, our staff will make sure that if there is a fire that we would be checking through the building and trying to make sure that our students
I'll make sure the firefighters are doing their job.
Yeah, we'll do that. So just make sure you get yourself out and whoever's with you, get them out of the building. If there's a storm, like a hurricane, I don't know, I'm from the north. I guess you know when hurricanes are coming. If there would be like a tornado or something that would pop up, we would all be in the auditorium together, and we would take shelter there. And if there is an armed shooter situation,
Three things.
Yep, 3 things.
You know
want
them?
a list of?
You know them?
It's run, hide, fight.
Yep.
Those are the 3 things. So if there were to be an armed shooter in a building, which we pray to God that would never happen, we have security teams that are here when we have students on campus watching that, and they are trained to take care of that kind of situation if it were to arise. But if it does happen, the first line of action is to run, get out of the building, get off campus, get yourself safe. If running isn't an option, then hide to the best of your ability. And if
hide under cover too.
Yes.
Like something that bullets can't go through.
Preferably cement. We do have a lot of cement in this building. And so if you're a person who might be paranoid about an armed shooter, or that's what they're called, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just be looking at which walls are cement and just like find your spot. That sounds horrible. Once again, 2019 is hard. So just do it to be safe. So hide, but if running and hiding aren't options, then the next option is to fight. That one's a little bit more scary. We hope it doesn't come to that. We hope we never have an armed shooter in this building, but just know that would be the protocol for if that were to happen.
And if you are new with us, we have what's called a safety response team who are all trained in recognizing threats and eliminating before they're even a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And one huge thing that I ask of every single person is to make sure that all of our doors are secure and shut and that they're locked on the outside, on the exterior building. If they can't get in, they can't do anything. And several weeks in a row, I've had to ask the doors to be shut. I don't care if it feels better outside. I don't care if you hold the door for somebody else. Like, they need to be shut because that's the number one way someone's going to get in. Number one way is through our doors. And so if they can't, then they won't.
Yeah. So that's a crazy, what if an armed shooter comes in, but there's a couple of other crazy what ifs that we want to talk about with you guys.
Yeah. So
quick.
You should check it out in the next video. Okay? Check it out. Do it. You should watch it.
Please do.
Because there's some fun ones in there too.
I don't even remember. I'm excited to revisit them.